Acropolis rally has the honour of being the toughest of them all. The roads through the Greek mountains are little more than rocks in places, and temperatures can be higher than even in Kenya. For the cars and drivers, just finishing is a major achievement. Only a country so full of ancient history could have created a legend like the Acropolis rally.
Could a country so full of ancient history really be as in debt as it is? Sources say yes. It's a Greek rally, Acropolis rally as they call it, but it is a Greek rally because it's in Greece. But the video will be titled Acropolis Rally because I'm naming all of the rallies their actual names. That's just how it works around here. So we're going to go and do the toughest rally on the entire calendar. And it's in Yogurt Eater land, which is great, which is fantastic. Fat Nick, I hope, is on the sidelines cheering me on, although I don't go to the Formula 1 threads too much anymore. I've just lost interest in Formula 1, to be honest. It's not really a sport I'm all that into at the minute, just because, you know, I'm not really interested. I'm too busy watching MotoGP and then various endurance races and then whatever flavor of the week touring car discipline I decide to sample whenever it's on. But that said, this rally doesn't seem that difficult. I mean, obviously the heat isn't simulated in the game. 2002, you've got to cut them some slack. But I do feel like where were we before Argentina last week? I have to check my little calendar. Cyprus. I feel like Cyprus was harder than this. But these have been 3 rallies on the trot that have been pretty similar, to be honest. You know, they're all through mountains and they're all mostly gravel and rocks. So there'll be a nice change of scenery once we get to Kenya, which is probably one of my favorite rallies in this game, if not in real life as well. Just because the cars get like little breathing tubes, like scuba divers on them, and they get huge mud flaps, and they basically turn them into not dirt, the other class from Raid. They basically get turned into Raid spec cars from the crew, which I think is pretty neat. You know, they get a cool look to them. And then the rally that actually through Kenya, oh, for fuck's sake, sticky walls. And then the actual race, like the actual stages through Kenya, are pretty fun too. Like I played them. I think Kenya was about as far as I got when I was playing this game, just to play it. Like before I decided to record it or anything. I think I got through Kenya, and it was, you know, there was some fun, interesting stages. I can't remember if they actually modelled any giraffes or anything off in the distance, but I hope they did, because that would be cool. I also like the stages have a lot of water splashes, and it's really muddy, and you go through completely different scenery from what, you know, you've seen here in Greece, in Argentina, and in Cyprus. I'm pretty sure Cyprus is just an island off Greece anyway. It's either an island off Greece or an island off Spain. Can't remember. Actually, it might be that island in the middle of the Mediterranean. Not the one that's almost attached to Italy. I mean the other one. One of the other ones. I'm not sure though. It's in that area. I know roughly where it is. I could find it on a map pretty quick because I wouldn't be scanning like the Far East or wherever for this fucking island. I know it's Mediterranean somewhere. Just can't quite remember exactly where. Well, there's a potential that the stages here in Greece could be a little bit shorter than they have been recently. which I'd be more than happy to accept, because the last 2 rallies I feel like have been longer than all the other ones I've done so far. I'm not sure if they actually have been. It just semi feels that way, you know? Or semi feels that way. I don't know why I say semi. Stage 2. As usual in this game, cars carry over their dust and gravel from the previous stage until you go to a service area, where there's not an option to wash them, they get washed automatically. But usually in rally games, they force you to wash the car before you can fix anything. Which I'm not sure why, but they do. I guess they'd do that in real life anyway, just give it a rinse with a hose. If you had to rinse my my bike down after doing a stage, the gauges would fill with water and you probably wouldn't be able to start it. Like I have a crack in one of the dials. Not because I don't have a rev counter or anything on my bike. I've got a speedometer, and then I've got another smaller one that tells me when I've got the indicators turned on, or the lights on, or if I'm in neutral. And that one has a little crack in it, and I think at least one of the lights in there is completely given up, and it's a lot of the time it's got water in it that you can't get out because it's only a little crack, and it doesn't evaporate either. So it's probably going to ruin like the insides of that completely. So I've got to sell it before that happens, so it doesn't get totally unsellable. But I'm going to be selling it pretty soon anyway, because I'm turning 17 in about 2 months, and I need a big bike because I can get a bigger bike. I have to do another. I think I have to do another, in Gran Turismo terms, another license challenge to be able to get a 125. But a 125 is what I want. And I was looking at eBay, but I was only looking at it based on the actual amount of money that I currently have, and I wasn't factoring in that I'm probably going to be selling my bike soon. So, I was looking at like getting a rolling chassis and then dropping the engine from my little pit bike in it, because I've got 2 bikes. I've got a pit bike and a road bike. I don't know if I've got videos of them both on the Thurb Moto playlist, which was gonna be a parody of Verb Moto, and then Verb Moto shut down. I'm not sure why. I'm sure I could probably find some forum post that has like a reason. Oh, someone's knocking at the door. Hang on a minute. Some guy from Holly, my sister, from a football club. She does football with a club, she does. She's a sporty one. Everyone loves her. Me? No, I just like bikes, like my dad. No one's proud of me. I ride my bike up and down the road. Holly does sports. She does extracurricular activities. I did nothing when I was at high school. Didn't do fuck all in terms of going out and making things that will make me more attractive for universities, but maybe if I do buy a rolling chassis and strap my own engine to it, then they'll love me and let me into uni. But yeah, who knows? Point is, fucking the old the guy. Anyway, yeah, the guy that gave me the forms. He holds them up, hands them to me, holds them up, then hands them to me, and goes, he went, "These are football forms." And then he looked at me, and I went, "Yeah," because I understand what a form is, right? I'm not a retard. I don't have like syndrome or anything, right? But he looked at me and nodded. He went, "These are forms, yeah?" And nodded. And I was like, "Are you patronizing me? Do I look like I have Down syndrome to you?" Well, I didn't actually say that. That's just what I was thinking. I just went, he's handing me this one. I went, "Yeah." And he goes, "They're for Holly. Get Holly or your parents to sign them." I was like, "Yeah, I know, I get it." I haven't shaved for like 3 days, so I wouldn't say I've got neck beard. I've got little, you know, if you know Shaggy from Scooby Doo, I look like him. I actually I look a lot like him. I get people telling me that a lot. But you know, so you know, I look like Shaggy. I don't look like a fucking 5-year-old. You don't have to be like, these are forms, yeah. Come on, man. Be cool. Just give me the form, say get Holly to sign these, and I'll be like, yeah, okay. And then we can be cool. But no, you have to be some super excitable, make sure everyone understands, amateur kids football coach. Jesus. Anyway, I was saying something before I got interrupted. Oh yeah, I was talking about my bike. Yeah. But then if I end up selling my bike, then I'll probably have enough money to just buy an actual working motorcycle, rather than having to drop my own engine into which is tiny little, which is 15cc smaller than necessary, into the chassis of a dirt bike, and then trying to get that insured. I could just buy an actual bike and insure that. It would probably be cheaper, especially because, despite how like I treat riding on the public roads as though I'm playing Burnout in real life, I somehow haven't been in an accident that has meant that insurance people have had to be notified. So you know, my insurance should be pretty good in the future. And then when it comes to like getting a car and stuff, I should be alright. Because in here in the UK, right, cars are pretty cheap. It's the insurance that gets you. Because you see like SW20 MR2s up on eBay for like $1,000, and then you realize, you know, that's a mid-engine rear-wheel drive sports car. I'm not going to be able to insure that without completely breaking the bank. So you don't bother, and you end up with a Vauxhall Corsa. And that's why everyone has Vauxhall Corsas, because they're fucking cheap as shit to insure. Well, when the game resets you, you don't get a penalty. But when you reset yourself, you do. That doesn't really make sense to me, but whatever. So yeah, that's why the Corsa and like little hatchbacks are so popular here. Because they're the only things anyone can afford to insure. Because they're cheap and mass-produced, I guess. And if you do manage to crash within your first couple of years on the road, look forward to never being able to pay for insurance fucking ever. Which means that I really need to calm down once I get into a car or onto a bigger bike and stop playing it like Burnout. Because otherwise, I'll either end up dead or, you know, I won't be able to pay for a fucking thing. Unless I got like 17 jobs. And I don't even want to get one job, so 17 doesn't sound like a good idea. I was looking on eBay because I kind of want an AW11 MR2. The SW20 is really cool, but I've been on a bit of a synth wave kick, kind of sorta. After I started playing Hotline Miami, I was like, I want an AW11. So I was trying to look at MR2s and stuff online, and I was scrolling through all of the results on eBay. And there was only like 1 or 2 AW11s. Everything else was either an SW20 or the fuck, I can't remember its name, but the convertible one, the one that guy drove in Gran Turismo 3. But I don't like that one. The really like the MRS, that one. That was the only one I could find, and I hate that one because of one of the AI guys on Gran Turismo. So that's why I can't buy that particular car. If I was going to get an MR2, I'd probably end up with an SW20, to be honest. But in terms of like mid-engined sports cars and shit, I'm gonna probably have to wait until the insurance rates go down and that sort of thing. Which is great. Yeah, you have to wait a while to get a nice car, but you can get, well, nice car. It depends what you think of MR2s and that sort of thing. Because I like shitboxes, you know, I talked about this in the past a long time ago, but supercars, you know, and that sort of thing, like Mercedes and BMWs and stuff, I'm not really into. I like Jap shitboxes, to be honest, because I'm a weeb and I set my sights low. I got stuck in that tree and sort of gave up, and then the countdown went away, so I had to keep going. Didn't really wasn't the best way I could have navigated that corner. The best way would have been to stay on track. But if I hadn't have gotten caught on that tree, that would have been better. But I'm back in it now. Pretty sure this game has overall longer stages than Dirt 4. And this game came out more than a decade beforehand. But it was made by God Studio Evolution Studios, who made 5 WRC games, which were all pretty much stellar. I want the 2005 one the most, but the other ones look good too. I mean, I want all of them because, you know, my whole mission to play every racing game made for home consoles since '95. But, you know, I'm probably going to Photoshop together a new channel banner, which is more Vaporwave inspired, because I'm a meme boy like that. I know Vaporwave isn't a big meme anymore, but I'll at least give it some kind of a 90s-y aesthetic. I'm into that sort of shit. Oh, fuck. I saw it looked like the road was going to go that way. But it ended up not going that way. And then instead of having my slogan be, you know, low effort, low budget, that'll still be there, but it won't be the main focus of the banner. You know, I think it'll mostly be I want to play every home console racing game since '95. I'll Photoshop something together. I'll GIMP something together that portrays that mission statement accurately and in a manner that everyone can understand. Probably just have it written down, and then I'll have like VHS tapes and PS1s floating around, and then there'll be a Sega Dreamcast with 95 written on it. I don't know. Figure something out. It'll look cool. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. It'll look cool. Night stage. Hell yeah. I mean, I got lost on the last stage, and that was a daylight stage. But I'm sure Night Wave will make it better. You know, because I don't focus on kiddie gimmicks like stance or drifting. All I care about is maximum velocity. Am I right, guys? My fellow mid-space night team drivers. The mid-space nightclub are pretty rad. The Midnight Club games, I'm semi-mixed on. I've played 2 a fair amount. I think I'm on the final boss of LA, but I'm not sure. I haven't played it in ages anyway, but I think I got to the final boss of LA, and I just can't do it because I'm too much of a pleb. I'm not good. I need to get good. I haven't moved to Tokyo. I haven't completed LA yet, basically, for the first time, is what I'm trying to say. So, you know, not the best, or anywhere near close to being the best at Midnight Club 2. Midnight Club 1, I only played for about 5 minutes. I've never played Midnight Club 3. And every time I play Midnight Club LA, I get, like, a small amount into the career, or the single player, and then I end up restarting and just doing it all again for some reason. And then, you know, I never get very far, but I'm planning on Let's Playing that game between Need for Speed Pro Street and Need for Speed Undercover on my Friday street racing series, because that Friday is street racing night. And then, you know, Saturday is for track racing, Sunday for bikes, and then Monday for rallying and off-road. Is how it goes. There are games that would fit into multiple categories, and I make a decision on where to put them. You know, like how I'd say Pro Street was a more street racing oriented game, while Need for Speed Shift is a track racing game. You know, even though Pro Street is mostly track racing, it's still mostly about like street racing car culture in a way. Whereas, you know, fucking Shift is all track racing all the time. So that's my thought process on that. I'll talk about it more when I get to games like that. But yeah, you know, I'm just gonna finish that thought there because I'm not sure where I was going with it. I'm just gonna end it with but yeah, you know. Right, on to the last day of the Rally Greece. So I guess I was right about this being a shorter one, unless both of these last stages turn out to be 10 minutes plus each. That's when it'll be haha, you really tricked me sort of status. I'm gonna turn the light on because it's getting pretty dark, and I don't want to lose my eyesight before I'm 30, because I won't be done Let's Playing every racing game ever made before then. So I'd like to hold on to my eyes for a little while. Can't remember how long it's supposed to be between when you're staring at a screen. I can't remember how long the gaps of time that looked like the track went that way. Because I've still, and probably never will have, a setup that lets me listen to the PS2 without like plugging it into a. Well, no, even that wouldn't work because then I wouldn't be able to plug it into the Elgato. So, I mean, if I could stop getting lost, that'd be great. Can't believe I did so well on the night stage at not getting lost, and then as soon as it's daytime again, I'm all over the road. Yeah, like, if you've been staring at a screen, every so often you're supposed to focus on something that's a certain distance away, but I can't remember any of the details about that at all. I can't remember how long it's supposed to be between when you look away, how far away that thing is, and how long you're supposed to focus on it for, and that sort of thing. So I haven't been doing it, but I would like to hold on to my eyesight, because glasses are for dorks. And as much of a fucking weirdo I am, I'm not a dork. So, you know, I need to get away from these screens is what I'm saying. And that worked out perfectly. I'll just drive straight out of that one, don't mind if I do. I sound way less excited about that than I was. Well, I wasn't really that excited about it. I just thought it was pretty cool that the car ended up flipping around in exactly the way it would have needed to. But, you know, to be honest, the physics were probably set up to make that happen. TBH. So I'm not gonna get too impressed by it. Well, it looks like these last two stages aren't going to turn out unless I decide to stop and admire the wildlife. Looks like these last two stages aren't going to turn out to be 10-minute affairs, which means that this should be one of the shorter rallies that I've done so far. Not quite 40 minutes, but more of a 30-minute sort of length. Well, my recording time has reached 30 minutes already, but I need to cut out like when I ran off to go and accept forms from that football guy, and then I started recording a little bit early because I wasn't entirely sure when the intro video started and that sort of thing. But this should all add up to be around 30 minutes in length, unless this last stage is about 40 miles. 6 kilometers, that's not too far, is it? I don't know. 6 kilometers. Well, the longest point-to-point track in Need for Speed Underground is 5 miles. So 6.5 kilometers can't be much further than that. But you do need to take into account that rallying off-road is a fair bit slower than darting around city streets, especially because, you know, these roads are they've got a lot more corners and a lot more need to brake and slow down rather than, and you've got no nitrous and you keep hitting trees and spinning out. And I know I hit a lot of traffic in Need for Speed Underground, but still, you know. Right, good start this time. We're in the green straight from the off, which is always a good sign, because usually I get faster as the rally goes on instead of like getting slower. I don't think there's been a rally stage yet where I've had a huge fuck up halfway through a stage and lost it at the end, but there probably has been, and if anyone out there's been paying attention to this career as it goes on, then hopefully someone can point out to me a time when that happened, and I'll deny that that's what happened. I'll say I'll say it never happened and I was going really fast the whole time, is what I'll say. And then you'll provide video evidence from my own video, and then I'll take that video down and then re-record the episode and upload it and get everything perfect. Probably, I don't know. I probably won't do any of that. I'll probably respond to the comment and say no, that never happened, and then the guy will be like, well, yeah, it did, and then I just won't respond after that. I've noticed there are a lot of channels that, like, when the viewers pay attention to stuff and they catch details that the guy actually playing the game doesn't catch, they'll be like, oh, you're a nerd. It's like, well, get good at playing the game. How about that? You know, accept criticism of all forms from all sorts of people. Even people you don't like. I don't have anything against nerds. I like nerds because nerds tend to be elitist. And elitism is something I can get behind. Because allowing all sorts of people to like the same things that you like usually leads to the things that you like being ruined. So there. One last sector of this rally, and then I can accept my trophy and go home. Finish recording for this week. I've got a lot of recording done this week, actually. I've done an episode of TT Superbikes that I didn't need to do. Did an episode of New Speed Underground that I didn't need to do. Did an episode of Grid Autosport that I didn't really need to do, but it was helpful that I did it. And then I did another episode of Grid Autosport that I didn't need to do. And then, you know, I've done this episode that I needed to do to get it out this week. Keep on top of things. So there's the Rally of Greece finished. Definitely a much shorter rally than the last two, which is alright because the scenery was a lot of the same, really. But when we get to Kenya, it'll all look different and it'll be cool. So I hope we're all pumped to get to Kenya. I'm going to save the game. Take a look at the results screens. And there is my trophy. I've also unlocked a secret code. Not sure what it does. Probably never going to put it in. But if someone wants to see me put it in, then I'll put it in, but probably not going to. There we go. Rally Greece. Job done. Done and dusted.